there, rail fans. I'm Indigo, and I'm starting a new series called Engines in Taiwan, where I talk about different rail cars and power used on railroads in Taiwan. So there's been a recent trend of railroading videos on YouTube, starting with Engines of Amtrak by Amtrak I-365. Many variations of this have arisen, like Engines of Metra, Engines of BNSF, and my personal favorite, Engines of Mark by Catnet. So I decided to go international because most of these are American railroad companies. After a month-long train trip through California, Canada, and Russia, I finally made it to Taiwan, my favorite country when it comes to railroading, mostly because it's the only other country I've ever been to. Anyways, here's Engine of Taiwan, the General Electric E42C. Some background information. Taiwan likes to rename their units to have more digits, I would assume. For example, the E42C is called the E200. The reason for this is because Taiwan numbers their units by the model, so if they had an F40PH, they would be numbered F40 to F49. If you have more than 10 units, however, they would have digits added, so an F40 would be F400 or something like that. The year is 1972, and Taiwan's main railway line, the Zhongguanxian, which translates to longitudinal line, was electrified. Anyways, the Taiwanese Railway Administration, owned by this guy Chang Chen-yuan, at least today, I don't know who managed it back then, said it was a good idea to have electrified lines, but there was one problem: which locomotive would be used? As typical with their locomotives, they looked to their familiar friend, the United States, for help. They created this new locomotive, the E100, created by General Electric, with a Bobo wheel configuration. These were numbered E101 to E120. They had about 750 horsepower, 110 kilometers per hour, or 70 miles per hour. That's slower than my car. Anyway, these things might have been pretty good, however, were slow and unreliable and lacked many things that would have been helpful at the time. Air conditioning wasn't able to be used on coaches without a modern alternator set, among other things. You would need an extra powered baggage car. Also, in 1996, a fire in Donan ripped through E113, causing it to be scrapped. Also, another one, numbered E105, was scrapped because some idiot smashed it in Hsinchu. Since the E100 was a proven failure, a new locomotive was being worked on. Enter the General Electric E200, which 40 units were delivered to TRA from 1975 to 1982. Now, these didn't come after the E100s. There was just supposed to be another engine that they could use besides it. However, they ended up replacing them altogether because the E100 couldn't be used. This meant they could scrap all E100, all of them except for E101, currently sitting in Changhua Yard. You can find it right there. Reference visited every day to throw rocks and middle fingers since it was such a terrible train. Okay, no, I made that one up. Taiwan purchased 97 of these, with other variants like the E300 and 400, collectively known as the General Electric E42C. These locomotives were proved reliable and durable, leaving them in service to this day. The three variants are the E200, E300, and E400. There aren't really obvious differences by looking at them, as they're all pretty similar. However, the E200 did get a cab renovation because they were notorious for getting stuck. They have a Coco wheel configuration, a 10.67mm gauge, 3 metric ton axle load, 11 feet 55 inches long, 9 feet 9 inches wide, and 13 feet and 5 inches tall. The E200 and 300 are 96 tons, while the E400 is 92 tons. They have 6 General Electric 761 DC series motors. They all have a top speed of 70 miles per hour. The E200 introduced 35 vehicles in 1978, then purchased 5 vehicles in 1992, for a total of 40 vehicles. The total weight of the locomotive is 96 metric tons. The locomotive is fully equipped with an MA set, which could provide the 440-volt power required passenger train air conditioners. 5 vehicles introduced in 1992 were equipped with automatic train control, which was later unified to automatic train protection. The E300 purchased 39 vehicles and manufactured a year before the E200. It was delivered and put into operation mid-October 1977. In the original factory design, there was no MA set, so in towing air-conditioned trains, a power supply baggage car must be attached to provide power for the passenger compartment. Later in the 1990s, the Taipei Locomotive Factory installed MA sets on E301 and E302 to air-conditioned trains for the lack of E200 and E400 models and ease the pressure on locomotive deployment. 18 E400 models were purchased and introduced between 1980 and 1982. Total weight of the locomotive was reduced to 92 metric tons due to the high-speed design required. It is also equipped with an MA set so it could tow air-conditioned trains. It has a top speed of 130 kilometers, but starting traction and climbing ability is relatively poor. The E200 and E300 have 21,100 kgW. The E400 only has 16,000. In order to simplify logistics management and application scope, Taiwan Railways has successfully transformed the transmission gear ratios of some E400 to be the same as the E200 and 300. After the transformation, the pulling force of the E400 has increased from 16,000 kgW to 20,000, and the top speed has dropped back to 110 kilometers per hour. E236 and E240 and all of the E400s were assigned a Chengdu locomotive depot. The existing vehicles of E201 to E235 were assigned to Kaohsiung locomotive depot. Heritage or special units include E237, E405, and E417 with the Sunset livery. These are used for Taiwan's future excursion, which will run island-round services beginning January 21, though I haven't heard anything of them since. Maybe because people hated the livery, so much so that they converted it to Hello Kitty, which was, better received, no comment. Other liveries were for festivals and events, including Taiwan-Japan Friendship livery, the Blue Samurai livery, the Hope Train livery, which I could not find an image of, Keep Walking livery, and the 2015 Taiwan Lantern Festival livery. These were all removed. In conclusion, the E42s are still used widely in Taiwan for their reliability. As far as I know, they're the only other electric locomotives used in Taiwan, along with the E1000, as all other electric trains are multiple units. However, they're one of my favorites and work on the railway to this day. Thank you for watching this episode of Engines in Taiwan. Which train should I do next? If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe, since 3% of you watching are subscribed, which is like one person. If you're that one person, I will find you. So you should probably join in. Be sure to join us. Thank you.